I was 32 when this happened, and at the time, I'd been a long-haul trucker for just under 7 years. Not a lifer, not one of those guys who grew up riding shotgun with their dad, but long enough to be comfortable with the road and the silence that comes with it. I was the kind of person who liked routines, who preferred night driving because traffic thinned out and the world felt simpler. Just headlights, asphalt, and the steady hum of the engine. This took place in late October of 2021, somewhere between eastern New Mexico and western Texas. One of those stretches of highway that feels like it was drawn with a ruler. No towns for miles, no cell service, just rest stops that look abandoned even when they're technically open. I was hauling dry goods, boxed food, nothing exciting, and running slightly behind schedule, but nothing unusual. I remember starting that night in a decent mood. I'd talked to my sister earlier, joked about Thanksgiving plans. I had a thermos of gas station coffee that tasted burned and metallic, and a podcast playing quietly through one earbud. It was supposed to be just another overnight run. The kind you forget the moment it's over. That's the part that still messes with me. If something had felt wrong from the beginning, I might understand it better. But nothing did. It felt normal, almost boring, and that's what makes it stick. I stopped around 9:30 p.m. at a truck stop off a barely marked exit. One of those places with flickering fluorescent lights and a diner attached that smells permanently like grease and bleach. I fueled up, wiped bugs off the windshield, and stretched my legs. Inside, a few other drivers sat scattered around the diner, staring into plates of eggs like they were in confession. I ordered a grilled cheese and fries, nothing fancy. The waitress called me Hon without looking up. The TV above the counter was playing a rerun of some crime show with the sound off, subtitles lagging behind the mouths. While I ate, I checked my logbook and texted dispatch to let them know I'd be back on the road in 15. Everything was routine, comfortably dull. Outside, the wind had picked up. I could hear it pushing against the trailers, making low, hollow moans. A couple of trucks idled nearby, engines rumbling like distant thunder. I remember noticing one older rig parked farther back near the edge of the lot, away from the lights. Matte black cab. No company logo. It stood out mostly because it looked wrong somehow. Too clean, too unmarked. I didn't think much of it at the time. Plenty of owner-operators prefer plain paint jobs. I got back in my truck, locked the doors like I always did, and pulled back onto the highway. The road swallowed me almost immediately. The truck stoplights faded in my mirrors, replaced by endless darkness. I turned the podcast back on and settled in, hands loose on the wheel, eyes scanning the white lines sliding under me. That's when I saw headlights behind me again. At first, it was just another set of lights. High beams, low beams, hard to tell from a distance. That's normal on these highways. Trucks leapfrog each other all night. Someone passes you, you pass them later. It's like a quiet dance. But after about 20 minutes, I realized the lights hadn't moved. They stayed far enough back not to tailgate, but close enough that I could always see them. When I sped up slightly, they did too. When I slowed, they matched me. I told myself it was coincidence. Maybe they were running the same speed to save fuel. Maybe they were just lazy. Still, I checked my mirrors more often. Another odd thing, the headlights never wavered. No bouncing, no drifting. Just steady, centered, like they were locked onto me. Around 10:45, I changed lanes for no reason at all, just to see. The other truck followed a few seconds later. Same smooth movement. No hesitation. I felt a small knot form in my stomach, but I laughed it off. The road messes with your head, especially at night. You start seeing patterns where there aren't any. A few miles later, I pulled off at a rest area. Not because I needed to stop, just to break the rhythm. The rest area was nearly empty. 2 cars, no lights except the bathroom building glowing like an aquarium. I parked, engine idling, and waited. A minute passed, then headlights appeared at the entrance. The same truck rolled in slowly and parked at the far end of the lot, engine still running. That's when I stopped smiling. I stayed in my cab, doors locked, watching through the side mirror. The other truck didn't turn off its engine, didn't open a door, just sat there rumbling. I told myself it was still probably nothing. Maybe the driver needed a break too. Maybe I was being paranoid. But when I pulled back onto the highway 10 minutes later, they followed again. This time closer. I could see the shape of the cab more clearly now. Same matte black, no plates I could see. The headlights were newer, brighter than they should have been on a truck that old. I called dispatch. No signal. I tried my phone. 1 bar, then nothing. The road signs became less frequent. Mile markers slipped by like they were being erased as I passed them. I decided to take the next exit, even though it wasn't on my route. Just another test. I slowed, signaled, and turned off. So did they. The exit ramp led to a narrow frontage road with no lights and no buildings. Just dirt stretching out into darkness. My heart started pounding hard enough that I could feel it in my throat. I sped up. The engine whined in protest. The other truck closed the distance. I could hear it now. Not through the radio, through the air. When they flashed their high beams once, just a quick burst, I knew it wasn't coincidence anymore. They were signaling to me. The frontage road ended in a dead-end turnaround meant for farm equipment. No signs, no houses, just a wide patch of gravel and scrub. I slowed, trying to think. Turning around meant stopping even briefly, but staying still felt worse. I pulled into the turnaround and swung wide. The other truck blocked the exit. It rolled forward and stopped diagonally, cutting off the road back to the highway. I locked my doors again, even though they already were, hands shaking now. The engine noise from their truck dropped to idle. A door opened. A man stepped out, tall and thin, moving slowly, deliberately. I couldn't see his face clearly, just the outline of his body against the headlights. He didn't wear a reflective vest. No hat, no rush. He walked toward my cab, hands at his sides. I cracked the window maybe an inch. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice not as steady as I wanted. He stopped a few feet away. "You've been driving a while," he said. His voice was calm, too calm. "Must be tired." "I'm fine," I said. "You're blocking the road." He tilted his head slightly. "Didn't mean to scare you." "Then move your truck." He didn't respond right away. I noticed then that his eyes never blinked, just fixed on me. "Sometimes," he said finally, "people need help and don't know how to ask." I felt something cold slide down my spine. "I don't need help," I said. "Please move." For a long moment, he just stood there. Then, without another word, he turned and walked back to his truck. My hands were slick with sweat on the wheel. I waited. He got back in. The engine revved, and then he drove away, slowly, leaving the road open. I didn't hesitate. I hit the gas and didn't look back. I didn't stop until I reached a well-lit truck stop nearly an hour later. I parked under a light and sat there, shaking, engine off, listening to the ticking metal cool. I called the police. They took my statement over the phone, asked for a description I couldn't really give. A black truck, a tall man, no plates. They said they'd keep an eye out. Dispatch told me to finish the run if I felt able. I didn't argue. I just wanted the night to end. For weeks after, I checked my mirrors obsessively. Every set of headlights made my chest tighten. I stopped driving at night whenever I could. Nothing ever came of the report. No follow-up, no explanation. Just another story lost in the miles. It's been years now, and I don't drive that route anymore. Sometimes, late at night, I still think about that dead-end road and how confident he sounded, like he already knew how things were supposed to go. What scares me most isn't what he did. It's how easily it could have gone differently, and how many exits out there don't lead anywhere at all.